Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we sift through the information to uncover hidden gems and fascinating stories. Today, I want to take you on a journey to South Korea, to a place where a treasure so vast, so meticulously crafted, has somehow managed to cheat destruction for centuries. Just imagine something so monumental, it would take you over 18 years just to read it all.
That's absolutely right. We're diving deep into the story of Haeinsa Temple, which is nestled on the quiet slopes of Mount Gaya, and the incredible Buddhist archive it protects, the Tripitaka Koreana. This isn't just, an ancient collection. It's really a testament to human ingenuity, to resilience, and this enduring pursuit of wisdom.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive is to really get under the skin of the Tripitaka Koreana, not just what it is, but the incredible feat of its creation, the ingenious architecture that's kept it safe for so long, and its almost miraculous survival against some overwhelming odds. We'll uncover.
But interestingly, there's also another historical account from the 9th century. It suggests the monks actually got financial backing from a queen dowager who had converted to Buddhism.
So maybe a mix of faith and royal funding. Either way, it sparked something huge. And Haeinsa isn't just any old temple in Korea, right? It's one of the three jewel temples.
That's right, specifically representing Dharma, which is the Buddhist teachings. It's still the head temple of the Jogi order, the largest branch of Korean Seon Buddhism. That's Korea's unique version of Zen, focused on meditation, direct experience.
And it's still a working practice center today.
Absolutely. A living, breathing center for active spiritual practice, which is quite remarkable.
It really is.
And for anyone who visits the journey to the temple, well, that becomes part of the whole experience. You start with about maybe a 15-minute walk through this lush forest path for the main gate. It's quite memorable, partly because you see these signs warning about wild boars.
Wild boars. Okay, that definitely gets your attention before you even get inside. Have you ever actually seen one there? Or is it more just a heads up?
Amused tone. Thankfully, no direct run-ins for me. They're usually quite shy.
Uh-huh.
But it's a good reminder you're in a truly natural setting.
Right.
Once you reach the temple complex itself, you find it's laid out in this interesting tiered structure. The first level, just past the Buluman Gate, that's where you find the admin offices, the monks' living quarters, that sort of thing.
Okay, the functional parts. But there's also something really symbolic there too, isn't there? The Haeinsa Buddhist labyrinth. Tell us about that.
Ah, yes, the Haeinsa. It's truly special. It's based on a poem from the 7th century by a monk named Usan. It's got 210 characters laid out in 30 lines, and it's designed for, spiritual walking, a kind of meditation.
Spiritual walking.
Yeah, the path literally begins and ends at the exact same spot. It's meant to symbolize the world as a singularity that everything is interconnected, returns to its origin. It's a really profound idea, made physical in stone.
That really does bring the concept of a spiritual journey to life, doesn't it? The path leads you back, but maybe you're different when you arrive. And near there, you mentioned the Samuel Pavilion, with the 4 instruments.
Yes, the Samuel Pavilion. It houses 4 traditional instruments. Each represents different realms. There's a large bell for beings on earth, a big drum for those in heaven and hell.
Okay.
A wooden fish for creatures in the water, and a cloud-shaped gong for beings in the sky. Monks play them twice a day. It's this powerful ritual connecting our world with all other life through sound.
Sounds incredibly immersive. So, moving up through the temple, what's on the next level?
As you go up to the 2nd level, the main building you see is the Daejeol Gwangjin, the Great Hall of Great Tranquility and Light. What's interesting here is that it's dedicated to Vairocana.
Vairocana, not the historical Buddha.
Right. Vairocana is often seen as the cosmic Buddha, representing pure light, emptiness. It's less common than Siddhartha Gautama. This dedication shows a specific philosophical focus at Haeinsa. It's where the monks gather for their main prayers.
Interesting. And nearby, there's another hall, the Daibirojan, with some very old statues.
Yes, exactly. It houses 2 wooden Buddha statues. They go all the way back to the 9th century. They're not just old, they're the oldest wooden Buddhas of their kind in Korea.
Wow.
And to add a bit of mystery, there's this persistent rumor that treasures might be hidden inside them, sealed within the statues.
Adds to the mystique, I suppose.
Definitely. Which naturally brings us to the main event, you could say.
Yeah.
The Tripitaka Koreana itself. So what is it exactly? And the scale?
Yeah.
What are we really talking about here?
Right. It's this huge collection of Buddhist scriptures, Sutra, Vinaya, Abhidharma, all carved onto wooden printing blocks. Officially, Haeinsa Daejangyangpan, or Goryeo Daejangyang. but people often call it Pullman Daejeongyong.
which means 80,000 Tripitaka, and immense barely covers it. We're talking over 81,000 wooden printing blocks. The latest count, verified in 2014, is 81,352 plates, including some later additions.
81,352.
That's mind-boggling. How much would that even weigh? About 280 tons. You'd need something like 70 big 4-ton trucks just to move it all. And if you stack them vertically, they'd reach 3,200 meters. Higher than Haeinsa, higher than Bukdusan, Korea's tallest mountains.
That's incredible. And the text itself?
Around 52 million characters. Think about this. That's comparable to the entire output of the Joseon dynasty's royal annals over 500 years in one collection.
Wow. An encyclopedia of enlightenment is right.
And the story of how it was made is just as compelling. This wasn't actually the first Tripitaka in Korea. There was an earlier one, the Chogo Daejeongyong, made in the 11th century. It was created partly as a sort of spiritual defense against Khitan invaders.
Okay. What happened to that one?
Tragically, it was destroyed, burned by the Mongols in 1232.
Ah, right. The Mongol invasions.
Exactly. So the current Tripitaka Koreana, also called Jayo Daejeongyong, meaning recarved, was the second massive national effort. It happened during the Goryeo dynasty over 15 years, from 1236 to 1251.
And the common story is that it was made purely to, invoke Buddha's power to repel the Mongols, right? But it's maybe more complex than that.
Yes, the religious motivation, the desire for divine protection, was definitely strong. But scholars also point to a pretty sophisticated political strategy. The ruling military regime at the time, the Cho family, specifically Cho Yu, they likely saw this huge project as a way to unify the country.
How so?
Well, by rallying everyone, including the different Buddhist factions around this shared sacred goal, it helped reinforce national cohesion during that terrible crisis with the Mongols. It shows how religion back then wasn't just personal faith. It could be a powerful political tool for stability.
That adds a whole other layer, doesn't it? Using a spiritual project for national unity, maybe to shore up their own power during a crisis.
It suggests a very savvy understanding of how culture and belief could be mobilized. In times of extreme threat, leaders often look for these unifying forces. And Buddhism was so deeply woven into Goryeo society. A grand project like this offered purpose, collective action, maybe diverted some attention from internal issues too. A multi-layered approach.
Absolutely fascinating. And putting aside the motivations for a second, the actual craftsmanship, it was incredible for the time.
Oh, astounding. They only used specific woods, hard-wearing woods like cherry and pear wood from certain islands. And the preparation was intense. To stop the wood from warping or cracking later, they first boiled it in salt water.
Boiled it?
Yes. Then it was dried very slowly, carefully, in the shade, not out in the sun. A really painstaking process just to prepare the material.
And the carving itself.
Unbelievably precise. These skilled artisans working by hand could only carve maybe 40 characters a day.
40 characters. That means each block.
Took over half a month just to carve. Multiply that by over 81,000 blocks.
The sheer human effort is staggering.
And what's truly remarkable is the accuracy. To this day, no errors, no corrections have ever been found on the plates.
None. How is that even possible?
Incredible proofreading. A scholar named Sugi oversaw this rigorous process. They compared the text against other existing Tripitaka versions, like the Northern Song Chinese version, the Khitan version. Sugi even compiled 30 volumes detailing all the corrections and variations they found in other texts. This effort made the Tripitaka Koreana the most accurate and complete collection in the world at that time. It even has scriptures not found elsewhere.
It's just phenomenal, such dedication to perfection on such a scale. But of course, creating it is one thing, preserving it for over 750 years is another. And that brings us to its home, the Jaengyang Panjeon. These buildings are the unsung heroes, really, a masterpiece of preservation science from the 15th century.
Absolutely. The Jaengyang Panjeon complex itself is a national treasure, number 52, and also a UNESCO World Heritage Site designated in 1995. These buildings weren't just old structures they repurposed, they were specifically designed in the 15th century to house the Tripitaka Koreana. Their antiquity, combined with these incredibly effective conservation methods the builders figured out centuries ago, is just astonishing.
They really thought of everything, didn't they? Tell us about the layout.
Okay, so there are 4 main halls arranged in a rectangle. 2 long buildings, Babojin on the north side, Sudarjang on the south, and then 2 smaller ones connecting them, like east and west libraries.
And their location within the temple grounds is important too.
Critically important. They deliberately built it at the highest point of the temple complex, about 655 meters above sea level. This maximizes air circulation and helps avoid the damp winds you might get down in the valley. Smart placement.
Okay. And the design of the buildings themselves. I heard something about the windows.
Yes, this is ingenious. Each hall has different sized windows on the north and south walls. They basically understood principles of, well, hydrodynamics, how air flows. The different window sizes create natural ventilation, constantly regulating the air, the temperature, and crucially the humidity inside.
Wow. Without any machines.
Exactly, a passive system. And the floors. The floors are just as clever.
What's special about the floors?
They're not just packed earth. They have layers underneath. Charcoal, calcium oxide, which is lime salt, and sand. This combination acts like a natural humidity regulator. It absorbs excess moisture during the wet summer monsoon season
Okay.
and then slowly releases it during the dry winter months. It keeps the humidity inside remarkably stable, ideal for preserving wood.
That is just brilliant ancient air conditioning.
Pretty much. And there's this other weird thing. Animals, insects, even birds seem to just avoid the complex. No one knows quite why.
Really? That's bizarre. But helpful, I guess.
Definitely helps with preservation. And, this ancient natural system, it proved better than modern tech. They actually built a modern concrete storage facility in the 1970s of a potential alternative. They put some test blocks in there. They developed mildew. The modern building couldn't replicate the stable environment of the old one, so the decision was clear. Keep the original Tripitaka Koreana right where it had been safe for centuries. It's a huge testament to that ancient wisdom.
Incredible. So this amazing architecture is a key reason the Tripitaka survived, which leads us to its whole legacy of survival. This treasure has faced so many threats over the centuries.
It really has. Its continued existence is frankly amazing. It speaks volumes about the dedication of its protectors. Think about the Joseon dynasty, which followed Goryeo. Buddhism wasn't favored then. Confucianism was the state ideology. Yet Japanese envoys, powerful feudal lords, monks, even the shogun himself kept asking for the Tripitaka Koreana. They wanted copies, sometimes even the original blocks.
That must have put the Joseon kings in a difficult position. How do they handle it? Especially King Sejong.
Right, King Sejong the Great. He personally, apparently, thought the Buddhist texts were kind of useless in his Confucian state. But he consistently refused the Japanese demands. His advisors basically warned him, if you give them this, they'll just ask for more for something bigger next time. Strategic thinking.
So diplomacy played a role in saving it too.
Absolutely. They offered other valuable Buddhist texts instead, sort of appeasing the request without giving away the crown jewel. It shows this long-term strategic view.
What can we learn from that today about protecting cultural heritage?